Gohan! Gohan, I want to be stronger. I want to put a stop to these monsters. Please, train me so I can help you fight.
Trunks. Okay, I'll do it.
You won't regret this, I promise.
Good. We'll get stronger together. And we'll make sure our world is safe again. Right, Trunks?
Why are the androids doing this? Why are they killing people?
I don't know. But one thing's for sure. They're clearly enjoying it.
So Gohan, back for more, huh?
We're gonna kill you this time.
I won't die. Even if you destroy my body, I'll live on in someone who'll become stronger than me. And he will be the one to stop you once and for all.
It's been 3 years since you murdered Gohan. I've spent that time getting better so I can kill you. I'm done hiding from you. You two are finished.
Better, huh? Hate to break it to you, but it still won't be enough to stop us.
You're not very bright if you really think you can win now.
Not much longer. Not much longer until I get my revenge.
I am the ultimate android, created by the great Dr. Gero. Once I kill you, I'll head to the past and achieve my perfect form.
Cell, you don't belong in this world!
And all of those people, my dad, yours, and everyone else, they live on in you now, Trunks. If anyone's gonna bring peace, it's you. You're our last hope.
Pay close attention to my heroic figure. Begin the recording, La Brava.
I'm already filming.
Here I come!
Yeah!
Let's be gentlemen. Sandwich!
For you.
For you. It must be changed, even if by force. I will show you greatness.
That's a great shot.
It's not just my dream.
Gentle.
Thank you, La Brava.
I love you.
In the far distant future, a psionic hormone was discovered in the human brain, granting people extrasensory powers and changing the world as we knew it. As humanity entered this new era, deranged mutants known as Others began to descend from the sky with a hunger for human brains. Highly resistant to conventional attack methods, extreme measures needed to be taken to battle the overwhelming threat and preserve humanity. Those with acute extrasensory abilities, known as psionics, were our only chance to fight the onslaught from above. Since then, psionics have been scouted for their talents and recruited to the Other Suppression Force, also known as the OSF, humanity's last line of defense. The most powerful and popular members are viewed as heroes, the Scarlet Guardians. Begin your adventure with either Yuito Sumeragi, an energetic recruit from a prestigious political family, or Kasane Randall, the mysterious scout whose power and skill has gained great notoriety among the OSF. As their different experiences interweave with each other, it is only then that you will reveal the full story and unlock all the mysteries of a brain-punk future caught between technology and psychic abilities. Welcome to the world of Scarlet Nexus. Our story starts in Suo, New Himuka's leading city, the center of its politics, economy, and culture. Its people thrive under the protection of the soaring tower that houses the other Suppression Force headquarters. All habitants share a connection. Their brains are linked to Cynet, a huge network that bonds everyone and everything together for the good of its residents. In Scarlet Nexus, you will become members of the other Suppression Force, OSF, that are tasked with using their powerful psionic abilities to protect humanity. The OSF has been recruiting new members every year for the past 560 years, each one with special powers to help fight back against the others. Using the Struggle Arms System, or SAS, a brain-to-brain connection with virtual cables, members are able to temporarily use allies' powers. As a member of the OSF, you will have to patrol around the capital in places such as the old OSF Hospital, a hospital formerly operating on the outskirts of Suo. It was abandoned after a large-scale assault by others, and has since been moved to a location inside the capital. Yuito spent his youth in and out of the facility due to his frail disposition, and almost got killed by an other during said attack, but a member of the OSF rescued him. Later, he enlisted himself in the OSF and endured intensive training to one day be able to help the citizens of his city. Additional patrol routes will have you check for others' activity in the abandoned subway, Suo 9 Line, a transportation network stretching out from underneath Suo to the neighboring cities. The track was abandoned along with the underground industrial district long ago, after it sustained an attack by the others. It is now a hazardous zone, riddled with cave-ins. Cunad Highway, a highway built in the remote region of Cunad, will often be a destination for young recruits. This highway, much like the town it once led to, has fallen into disuse, given over to others. And the famed Kikuchiba, a defunct mercantile satellite town of the Suo capital. The entire place is divided into a layered structure, and a malfunctioning projector shines a massive vision over the sky, making for an uncanny view. On all of your patrols, you will encounter others, deranged mutants that descended from the sky, highly resistant to conventional attack methods and defenses. Tormented by constant pain, they seek brains of living organisms to calm their madness. They rain down on Earth from a fog-like phenomenon known as the extinction belt, high up in the sky. Thankfully, with the advancement of technology, humanity has come up with measures to predict when they will fall, and as such, avoid most casualties. Some of recently spotted ones include the vase pause. If this pause were to get in the soil of an everyday flower pot, you'd never be able to tell it apart from a regular flower. When it spots prey from afar, it will jump with terrifying power and home in with a kick attack. Your telepathic powers should allow you to face against this threat easily. However, beware of the Brawn Yawn. This yawn crawls through the ground to approach its prey and leaps out with a powerful attack. Although it looks like the creature turns the ground to liquid and moves through it, data analysis has shown that the other itself is liquefied and sinks into the ground. However, do not engage if you ever find yourself in front of the Court Mort, the most massive recorded other sighting in history. Please do not engage. Featuring a dual story, Scarlet Nexus allows you to play as Yuito, a bright and optimistic young recruit who has a strong yet kind soul. He is the second son of the prestigious Sumeragi family, whose ancestors were the founding fathers of New Himuka. He comes from a family of politicians, with his father Joe leading the current government, and his brother Kaito commanding the other suppression force. He fights close quarters, with the combination of quick sword attacks and psychokinesis abilities. Or Kasane, cool, rational, and indifferent to those around her. Kasane is an elite soldier who graduated top of her class after being scouted by the OSF for her exceptional fighting skills and power. She tends to be unapproachable and causes friction with those around her. But she can also be very kind to those she has opened up to. She fights at range with a combination of ranged, multi-blade attacks and psychokinesis abilities. They are both able to use psychokinesis, the ability to move objects freely by using their minds. They will of course be able to count on the support of their allies and friends in battle, and their powers using SAS. Hanabi and her pyrokinesis will be Yuito's first ally, and Shiden and his electrokinesis, Kasane's. Throughout their adventures, they will be able to fight alongside Arashi and her hypervelocity, Kagero and his invisibility, Kyoka and her duplication, Sugumi and her clairvoyance, Luca and his teleportation, and finally Gemma and his sclerokinesis. Cynet's hyperconnectivity to all your party will allow you to protect New Himuka and humanity.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace once lost. The Golden Order is broken to its core.
Of the Elden Ring, emboldened by the flame of ambition, someone must extinguish thy flame.
They will fight, and they will die in an unending curse. Be born.
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord. I command thee now!
Brandish the Elden Ring. For all of us.
Pretty fancy place they got here.
Harmony and coexistence between the Renans and the Danans.
I'm Dohilim Ilkaris,
should you need my skills on the battlefield. All I care for is maintaining peace.
I'm Captain Kisara of the Eldermenencia Guard. Ha! Flare Demolisher! From now on, when I fight to protect my dream.
Well, this crew just gets bigger and bigger.
The Renans. Seems the rumors you were running with them were true.
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Been looking for you.
All of you, get the hell out of my realm! This is Tannin's realm and it's ours, understand?
Is it over?
It's only just begun.
Peggy 18.
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
Ready to go dark.
Man out, hold fire. We're gonna psy-op this shit.
This raid's a bust. These people are not the enemy, they're just shepherds.
Down! Get down! You're up on the ridge! Return fire! I'm hit!
This getting worse?
Oh shit!
Mailman 2-1 actual. All teams sound off. Over. Shit. Rest of the squad must be around here somewhere.
Jason! Jason! I'm close, man. I'm coming. You gotta be kidding me.
That don't sound too promising. What
is this place?
That you, Nick? Well, ain't that something? Where on God's green earth have we landed? We need to get back topside, regroup with the rest of the squad, and signal for medevac. This place ain't no weapons silo, but it's sure as crawling with Iraqis. Nick? Sergeant K, pull yourself together. Eyes wide.
I saw something.
What do you mean, saw something?
I mean, it wasn't human. In a tunnel. We should have never gotten up that helo.
Don't do this, Nick. Not now. I need you to keep it together just a while longer.
Something's not right. I know you can feel it.
The only thing I'm feeling is that I got my work cut out with you. You ever seen anything like this? What the hell is this place?
Pass. I flunked history at school. Tell me you don't feel it.
What, Nick? Feel what exactly?
I don't know, some. I'm gonna need some more muscle.
You skipping gym again? That's Merle.
Jesus, I'm trying. Will you stop squirming around? It's bad. He's bleeding out. We have to cut him down right now.
Hold tight, buddy. We got you. Nick, I need you here.
Cut the wires.
Oh, he's fucked. He's so fucked.
You don't think I can hear you?
You're gonna pull through, brother. Suck it up. There's morphine in my pack. Grab it. We're gonna pump you up, okay?
Hurry the hell up!
We got this. You keep lookout.
Looking for what?
Jesus, who the hell loaded these packs?
What
the f just happened? Clarice?
Who's that?
No! What happened to her? No! He's out there.
I don't know. I'm trying to find out. Let's go. He's bleeding out. We gotta take care of this. Shake. You want the good version or the bad version?
Just give it to him straight.
Not gonna lie, man. It's pretty bad. Shut up, man. Hold it again. Hold it in, man. Hold it the f in.
I need you to so didn't I just tell you to keep your shit together?
They're coming for us.
Morphine's kicked in.
decide my assignment. I hope I'm in the same platoon as Naomi. Thinking about it now won't do me any good. I have to focus. I should be able to complete the assignment as long as I'm calm. I can annihilate the other with my psychokinesis. Naomi even complimented me on how well I was suited for combat.
Next. It's done.
I wonder if Naomi is doing okay. I'm sure she is. She's one of the best. The exam has entered the final stage. I feel like I'm in good form, but I can't relax just yet.
That's a different kind of scary.
Yeah,
That
is
a much different.
So I'm looking forward to, you know, a different kind of tone of presentation.
Would you like me to hold your hand during this presentation?
Sure, Puppy. I'm okay with that. You know, that's great.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, everybody, of course, this is going to be Bandai Namco. I still want to say Namco Bandai. It's when they changed the name, it was years ago, and it still screws me up to this day. Of course, they're working with supermassive games on the Dark Picture Anthology, a whole bunch of different horror games that are coming out in quick succession. This is the third one in the anthology already, but if you didn't know them before, of course, Supermassive made Until Dawn, a breakout PlayStation hit that then led to this deal. Of course, they've done Man of Medan already. Now they did Little Hope, and now it's time to see more of House of Ashes. And so, yeah, this one's an exciting, different thing, right, Jackie?
Well, I have been closely monitoring every trailer, any gameplay that has dropped on this, and it is so scary. Like, I really cannot emphasize that enough. But for me, it has to be more than scary, and it has to be more than these terrifying aliens. For some reason, the story really hits with me, and you can also tell that they've invested so much time into this project. And I'm really hoping we get more of an inside look here, because I am on board, and it is bloody and gory and aliens aliens and yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah,
of course.
Not your cup of tea, but 100% mine.
You know what? Hey, I'm here for it, though. I'm
Drink
gonna
it
watch
up,
it. I'm gonna watch it all.
Opposing forces get dropped into a Sumerian temple, right? And all sorts of supernatural elements start popping out. We'll see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So, Golden Boy, we need you to get psyched up. We need you to get ready
Oh,
for the
no,
skits.
I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to be very scared. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go over to the media area, and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to be horrified because it's going to be great. It's time, though, for our next presenter. And here, with their 2021 E3 presentation, is Bandai Namco presents House of Ashes.
An ancient horror has awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
Ready to go dark.
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna psy-op this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! We're up on the race! Return fire!
You teeter on the edge of an abyss. Your survival depends on the choices you make. They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into?
You keep lookout.
Lookout? Lookout for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out. Unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth. Swallowed
We have to move. Let's go.
by the void. Will you find the path to salvation? Or be lost in the darkness? Forever.
We're here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. And I'm joined by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right,
Really cool.
so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes for most of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures anthology.
The Dark Pictures is a series of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories. Each one is standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe, so there is connection between them all. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq. And then as part of that, they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit. There's a pitched firefight, and then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort, and it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. These big massive structures, but these different groups, they're all separated, radio contact is lost, and they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the f just happened?
So this time it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or historical part of House of Ashes?
So we love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research. And we know our fans love it as well, because there's something that they can link into afterwards. And I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire, and this terrible evil that happened. We had this self-proclaimed god king, Naram Sin, and he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple and brought famine and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it. And then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. The team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them, or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this. You know, they've got guns, maybe they could try and take one of them down. But maybe there's another one around the corner, or maybe there's a group of them, and maybe they're going to get ambushed.
Maybe they're like a cluster.
Exactly,
and
yeah,
they all pop
a
out
nest,
once.
as it were.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to work on and see these things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us. They perceive the world in a different way. Getting little snippets of it in the darkness, and did I see that? Was it something that moved? Or is it actually just one of the other soldiers that's stuck in the catacombs?
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, you know, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing within horror, that you think you're going to be scared right now, and we're not going to scare you now. We'll scare you in a minute when you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge amount of peril in the game?
Definitely. We love to do it. You know, it's fun for us to work on, as horrific as it is, and we know that our fans love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play it out, you know, getting ripped and shredded and torn. And because there's a firefight, there's going to be bullets flying as well and all kinds of stuff. And it's not just the deaths, it's the gore that goes along with it, and, you know, lots of blood.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm in.
Not gonna lie, man. It's pretty bad.
What differences have you made, or changes have you made to the gameplay and mechanics for House of Ashes?
We're always evolving the Dark Pictures. We listen to a lot of the feedback from our fans, and also our team, what they want to do, how they want to push things forward. So we tried some stuff in Little Hope with you know, more camera control, 360 cameras at certain parts, and we've really leaned on that again, and it really works well. In House of Ashes, lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors, which are really tight and oppressive.
Creepy.
Yeah, indeed. So we've had to learn, because you take away the fixed cameras, and that takes away some opportunities for horror. But we've had to learn new tricks to scare people and, you know, ramp up the tension and you know, the chance for jump scares, which we know some people love. We've also got a new torch mechanic, so you know, it's military themed. So these guys are going to be walking around with weapons, with torches mounted on them. We love the lighting that we do, the sort of really inky black darkness that we have, and sort of the contrast to the bright areas. And so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going, what the threat is, and that kind of stuff. We've also done things like added difficulty settings to this game. So in Little Hope we added you know, QTE warning icons as an example, and we've got some really good positive feedback about that, but also some people want to turn that off. We want to allow you to play the game in your way. So with our accessibility settings and difficulty settings, if you want to have a more casual experience, you can change those settings. Still, most of your characters are going to end up dead, but you know, that's
spoilers,
what happens,
yeah,
indeed.
but that's what we come here for. That's
Yeah.
okay, we can deal with it. So I've got to ask, what was it like working with Ashley?
So Ashley was fantastic. She researched Rachel, she understood her when she came on the set, which is so refreshing. She knew her inside out. And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
When we were looking for Joey, Salim helped me.
And you didn't tell me this because...
You'd flip your shit.
We want you to connect to these characters and understand them as humans. We want them to seem real because they're real to us. You know, we spend a long time designing them, and I don't mind if you hate any one individual character, because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead and you feel bad about it.
And you feel bad about it, definitely.
Yeah.
But also we want you to save them. We want you to try and save them. You know, we know that some people want to get everyone killed straight away, and that's fine. That's their playthrough, cool. That's what they want to do. But, you know, can you get everyone out alive and save as many as you can?
There's a lot of replayability there.
Indeed,
Goes on forever. I like that. So, last question. Favourite scene?
Favourite scenes? So Salim, our Iraqi soldier, and Jason Kolchak, one of the Marines that's there. There's a way that can play out and a sort of contest between them, and you can make it go in a number of different ways.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It's really emotional. Seeing them film it, I was lucky enough to be there, and then seeing that come through in game, I think we've got something there. I think that's gold. And then, of course, I love scaring people, so I love the jump scares. I love the moments of tension that we bring. We can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you again.
To take your mind off the imminent threat. I like that. Dan, thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk about, and I'm sure, you know, I'm excited and terrified in equal part, and everyone else is just excited, I'm sure of it.
And it's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I can't wait to get it into people's hands.
It's going to happen.
Before we dive in the House of Ashes, see how scared you got, of course, we want to thank Razer for being one of the E3 2021 sponsors. Of course, giving us these tired old blades nobody cares about. But this Blade 14 RTX 3080 built right in. Of course, the Razer
I'm taking that.
Thank you so much. No, I'm taking that.
We'll fight.
Okay, well,
we've done it before.
You know what? I'll take the hand-me-down. I'll be little brother. I'll take the outdated. Nobody wants these anymore, right? Doesn't worry. Golden Boy, you just saw the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Your first glimpse of it. We have some reactions from you.
Oh, you do?
They were recording you. They said you were a little scared, not terrified.
Not terrified, thankfully, because it was just a normal trailer, which is fine. There's my face.
You're unsettled for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you don't like that.
Don't like that. No, not a fan of that one either. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that was one of the jump scares.
Dark Picture Anthology at House of Ashes. So Supermassive Games in Liverpool, UK, making that one, being published by Bandai Namco. I personally have fallen off the Dark Pictures Anthology, very guilty, but I did love Until Dawn. I had a great time with that one. Persia, what about you? What's your experience with Dark Pictures?
I played Man of Medan, which was interesting because I hadn't really played Until Dawn, so I didn't know what to expect even hopping into that one, but there was some sort of satisfaction kind of going through it all and seeing everyone die. Yeah. So now I'm thinking about how they were talking about all of the bloody deaths coming in House of Ashes. I'm like, let's see if we can run this back.
I was gonna say, because the dev was saying that, like, obviously there are people who you're gonna want to kill, or at least there are always players who are gonna try and kill everyone. I am a player who will try and save as many as I can, so I can't really identify. Tam, what's your experience with these ones?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Man of Medan, and I went to like a kind of like spoke to the developers behind it, and I think the thing about it for me currently is the ambition that the developers have for it, especially coming off Until Dawn and the critical acclaim that they got for that, and what they've executed on has been slightly at odds with each other. I feel like they've got the spark of something, and it's just not quite hitting in terms of one thing or another. Sometimes it's like the writing's not all there, sometimes it's like the atmosphere's not quite there, or like the decision-making moments aren't perhaps amazing. This one definitely feels like it's starting to look like it could be the most interesting, especially thematically, narratively. So I'm really excited to jump back into it and see how they deal with it. Like the idea of a kind of like military setting where this weird supernatural thing is happening, and how that impacts the people around it, the mental states of them, and then them knowing that in terms of gameplay they needed to shake it up a bit. I think that is really good, a really good sign going into this new entry in that series. So I am definitely more inclined to keep an eye on it and check it out when it comes out for sure.
Yeah, I think to your point there, if you think about Until Dawn, I remember when that one was announced, came out 2015, I remember it being announced like way ahead, and it was very, very different. I think I remember it was like a PlayStation Move game, like you use the PS Move as sort of your torch or flashlight, and then ultimately like the way that game evolved. And so maybe Supermassive have learned something, and they're just kind of making these shorter experiences that are still, full to the brim of player choice, but are maybe less ambitious in all the millions of different permutations you could potentially get in Until Dawn. I'm probably over-exaggerating when I say millions, but definitely a lot. So it's good to see, and it also means that they can be a little bit quicker when it comes to reacting to things like player feedback. As you can see, they're changing their accessibility options, which is always a fantastic thing to hear and see developers do, but also changing the way that they're adding like difficulty settings, and they're changing the camera stuff, because I loved Until Dawn in the way that it had like this filmic quality. It was, every shot seemed very, very deliberate. And it's obviously, you know, a throwback to something like Resident Evil, where you sort of have the tank controls and the very deliberately posed cameras. But that does mean that like some players are not going to enjoy that. And so I'm intrigued to see them experiment with a freer camera for this one. The story hasn't particularly grabbed me just yet, because I have never heard of the Akkadian Empire. British schooling, unfortunately, did not go that far, but it sounds intriguing, like a court that kind of ends up all bloody and full of betrayal. I love that stuff. Persia, what do you make of the setting and the fact that Ashley, I didn't realize Ashley Tisdale was in it. Obviously, they always have like a big name, like Sean Ashmore, Rami Malek, Hayden Panettiere. Like they always have these big names, and now Ashley Tisdale.
I know, I didn't know either until we were watching the presentation, and obviously, you know, my guilty pleasure was High School Musical back in the day, so I'm very familiar.
It is not a guilty pleasure.
You know,
it is a
about,
pleasure.
You know, pop, 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 pop to the top, you know, and I felt like maybe we'll see that out of House of Ashes, rising to the top, because like you were mentioning before, there are a lot of elements where they might have fallen short before, and I feel like they're kind of addressing all of that now. We saw from the mocap sessions, and even hearing like the voice acting and how people like Ashley Tisdale approach becoming a character, it looks very involved, so I'm interested to see more. And they were mentioning, oh, you know, we gotta find new ways to scare people, but they definitely had no issues scaring me in the ones that I've played, so I'm like, do you though, do you? But for everyone else who's, you know, much tougher than I am when it comes to horror games, they are specifically looking towards you guys to seemingly make scarier things happen, and I'm just gonna have to brace myself for it.
House of Ashes is coming out later this year. So this is the final day of the official E3 broadcast. We still have 2 more days of GameSpot's Play for All. So it's going to be packed full of developer interviews, exclusive trailers, gameplay, as well as sessions with some well-known faces from around the industry to chat about the big reveals from this week. But today, like, because the stream ain't going nowhere, today we also have the GameSpot Showcase, which is something that Tam helped put together in collaboration with The Mix. Tam, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the GameSpot Showcase is something that is quite near and dear to our hearts, and my heart specifically as well. To get it out of the way, because I know what it's like to go into a showcase not knowing what's there. This isn't about AAA experiences. This isn't, you're not going to get an Elden Ring here. You won't see Halo pop up. You won't have any AAA games like that. However, the games that are going to be there are really cool. They're really interesting. I hand-selected a bunch of them myself, and my approach to it was like, I'm going to pick a bunch of games that I know my friends are going to like. And there's games in there that I thought about when I saw them. It was like, oh, this person that I work with is going to love this, or this person I know is going to love this. And they're all games that are tied together thematically or in terms of purpose, in that they are exploring interesting subject matter that is often not explored in AAA games, or they're created by teams of diverse perspectives, or they're created by, you know, teams that want to have a message, or they're games that are designed to be uplifting and cozy and that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I think is going to be, like I said, not blockbuster games that you're going to be like, holy moly, this is going to be game of the year. I mean, some of them will be game of the year, I'm sure, for a lot of people, but it's the smaller experiences that are going to be meaningful to you in your life, and they will either make you feel good about playing them, or they'll make you think when you put them down, or you'll want to speak to someone and be like, you should check this game out. It's a small indie game that's really, really neat. And it's split up into it's an hour, and there are 4 interviews that are going to happen during that whole hour, and they're for 4 games that come from people, or their thought ideas or get for games that I really like stuck with me and I wanted to explore them. So they're like maybe 5 or 6 minutes each per interview. In between that, we're just going to be talking about, here's a bunch of games, and we're going to show a quick hits of trailers for these games. So it's quite a lean, I think, showcase. I very much, myself and Randy and the team at the Mix that worked on it, were very cognizant of the fact that, of the pacing of it. We didn't want to have people like falling asleep watching these kind of showcases, and not really giving people things to get excited about. So we made an effort to make sure that there's always going to be something that someone watching there is going to be like, oh, that's cool, or as in the interview sections, there's stuff there that you're going to say like, oh, that's an interesting perspective or subject matter. So yeah, please do check it out and share it and let people know. This is the first time we've done anything like this, and I hope that people take to it, because I'd love to do more of it.
Yeah, well, that is today at 3:30 p.m. or 3:35, I think it is, if you want the specific timings. We'll be streaming the whole thing. You can also find it on the ESA's broadcast, E3's broadcast, but it's going to be a good time, and Tam's put a lot of hard work, as well as the folks at the Mix, to put it all together, so make sure you watch. That's not all that we have today. The official E3 awards are also happening. Persia, I mean, what do you think is going to be, what do you think is the game that is going to like walk away with the most awards today?
I mean, it's tough because when I first started watching all the press conferences as they were coming by, every conference had something that caught my eye, but I gotta stick with my roots. Like, the Halo multiplayer looked really, really good. It got me super excited, and honestly, I've watched it so many times, slowing it down, looking at everything, seeing what's new, what's coming back, and it just reminds me of the old days when I used to play so much Halo 2 and like, breaking the game down with friends, and I'm ready to run it all back in 2021 to, holiday season is coming. So honestly, I gotta give all my love to Halo, even though there were a ton of games that were really cool. Like, my second favorite is probably Redfall so far. I really love the cinematic. I love the theme. Some friends of mine, we've been kind of trying out like VTM and stuff. And there was also a VTM game too. There's just so much. It's just hard to pin down. It's hard to pin down anything. But Halo is definitely going to be it for me.
Tam, what about you?
You know the answer to this.
Well, does it count though? Because it was in a different show.
I do not care. In the last month, the best thing to happen to the world has been an Elden Ring trailer and a release date. We got a release date and a trailer. That is wild. Elden Ring is of the event of the E3 season, the Summer Games mess. Elden Ring is my pick. But if I had to pick outside of that, I would have said Halo, but Persia locked it down. So, and I appreciate that. So that at least it's getting some mention there. But Metroid looks amazing. I'm so excited for that. Advance Wars is back, and I'm so excited for that as well. And Replaced as well, I think, is one that really, really stood out to me. Such a cool looking game. But if I had to pick one of those, Metroid Dread, easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I don't know, like, I've been sort of trying to make a list as we've gone through E3 about games that I've really got my eye on. Definitely Elden Ring, absolutely Redfall, Halo as well, Breath of the Wild 2, Mario plus Rabbids. Also, I'm weirdly excited about Rocksmith Plus, even though, like, it's a piece of training software, I suppose. But I think for me, Persia, you kind of nailed it when you were talking about Redfall. Like, anything that Arcane makes, I'm gonna just absolutely eat up. And I love that this, obviously it is a CGI trailer, not indicative of gameplay at all, but the world that they look like they're working in and building. It's always my favorite part of Arcane games, is the strength of the world building meets the strength of the artistic direction, and how those fuse together and meld with gameplay. And I love the way that they craft those things, and because it makes you feel like you're in this believable place. So I'm very, very excited to see more of Redfall. But if you want something that we saw gameplay of, I don't know, like, I also thought Guardians looked really cool. Like, I also interviewed the team behind it. They seemed so passionate about it, and we had a real fun time. That'll be shown as part of our Play for All showcase, either tomorrow or Thursday. But Guardians looks genuinely fun. I love that it's kind of, they're doing the Marvel Spider-Man thing of taking pre-existing characters that everyone loves and like putting their own spin on it. So it's not something that we'll have seen in the MCU or necessarily read. Obviously, there will be characters that we'll all recognize. So I'm just excited to see more of that one, especially that soundtrack too, because like the licensed soundtrack really got me. As soon as I heard Joan Jett, I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm in.
I loved it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for Groot, all right? I will just throw it out there. I'm such a sucker for Groot, and watching it was really exciting. And I want to see more. I want to see, you know, what else we can do. Like, am I gonna see maybe baby Groot at some point? Like, equally heartbreaking but exciting at the idea of it happening. And yeah, I agree. It looked really good. Gamora, she kind of has her outfit that's more closer to her older design and not really her MCU design, which is my personal favorite because she was my main in Marvel Infinite, who also has.
She looks like the Infinite version.
Design. Yes.
Yeah, she looks like the Infinite version. The moment she popped up, I was like, "That's Infinite." I've seen that before.
I love it, so I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. Any other games that caught your eye, Tam?
I think that's pretty much the there's also the Kurosawa game, which I'm forgetting the name of because my memory is shot at this point, but that kind of that looked really, really cool. But other than that, yeah, I think I need to go back and really check out. Like 12 Minutes got a release date, and I'm hyped as hell about that. But I want to go back and watch a bunch of those. Starfield, we could say Starfield as well, I guess. Like nothing in terms of gameplay, but the vibe of it was really cool, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, I think all those games that are coming to Game Pass are my games of the show.
Game Pass is the game of the show.
Game Pass is my game of the show.
It's also really strange to hear about like E3 awards with no one going hands-on with anything. Like, because that was always sort of the best bit of E3 is like walking around the booths and having hands-on with the games there, and then seeing all the awards kind of stack up. So it's a weird one, but I'm excited. I think Halo is going to walk away with a lot. I think they've really turned it around. The sentiment definitely seems to be just way higher from that first reveal that they had last summer. So I'm stoked for that. But we should talk about what else we're doing as a part of Play for All. So we have 2 days of live streams starting tomorrow, 9 a.m. I believe, running until about 2 or 3. So we're kind of all going to be anchoring like Tam, Persia and I, Kurt, Dave, going to be popping on as well. And then we're going to be chatting about the interviews and the hands-on and all of the gameplay and trailers that we're going to be showing. I don't know how public our schedule is yet. Tam, maybe you can speak to
I don't
that,
think it's super public, but what we can say is around E3 we're usually given access to a bunch of, you know, executives and people who you would have seen on stage at E3, or developers that are key minds behind some of these games. And as always, we did interviews with them, we spoke to them, and we've kind of been storing that up for the next couple of days. Now that the hubbub of the press conferences and the reveals is out of the way, now you'll be able to really dig into some of the games that have been shown and also hear from the people that are behind it. So we will have interviews with the likes of Pete Hines, and we'll have interviews with Nintendo folks and folks that are working on games. So it is well worth tuning in over the next couple of days. Yeah, like Lucy said, we're all going to be there as well, and it's kind of the storm has passed now, so we're kind of calming down. So we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to keep it easy breezy, maybe get a bit weird. So we'll make sure to make it entertaining for you, as well as it being informative and insightful from the people that we bring on. And obviously loads of trailers as well. So a lot of exclusive trailers as well. So you'll get a good helping of everything you want from an E3 for the next 2 days.
And I mean, I know you said that we're slowing down, but we're not really. So if you remember what we did for Play for All last year, it was a 6-week-long event where we had sort of the E3 side of it. We had like every major press conference in that time, so obviously everyone was more spread out than just being an E3 week, and so it was 6 weeks long. And if we weren't doing something about new releases or press conferences, we were running charity streams. We raised a lot of money last year for Black Lives Matter and Direct Relief COVID support. So this year, that's coming back in earnest. We are partnering with Able Gamers to raise money for them, a fantastic charity that helps people with disabilities just play games, and like their mission is so strong. And we were talking to Steve Swan, who is going to be joining us on a live stream next week, and the fact that gaming helps bring people together, it's like just this joyous activity that like we know you're all gamers, because otherwise why would you be here to partake in, and like especially over quarantine it's helped to bring so many people together. So Able Gamers works not only in accessibility consulting but also in changing pieces of hardware so that people with disabilities can play. I mean, I know this is like their tagline is so that everyone can play, and that is such a strong mission. So we are going to be raising money to go towards their Spawn Together initiative that Steve's put together. Tam, do you want to talk a little bit about what we've got planned?
Yeah, so the Spawn Together initiative is kind of this community effort to get to, I believe it's $1 million raised. And like Lucy said, they work on making peripherals and making stuff easier, but they also have an educational track for the things that they do, where they help people kind of educate themselves on how to design games to be more accessible. So it's a super important cause, and to support that cause, we've brought in friends from around the industry, and you know, there are people that we're fans of and we wanted to work with and we're excited to work with, and we're going to say who they are, a few of them, but stuff is fluid, people are always moving in and out, so you know, you never know, there could be some last minute changes. But obviously we are going to be partnering with our friends at Giant Bomb. We're going to have a stream with that crew there. We're going to have Jake Baldino is going to be here from Game Ranks. We're going to be playing some Metal Gear, and we're going to be doing some really goofy stuff with Metal Gear. If you're a fan of anime, you will obviously know the YouTuber Super Eyepatch Wolf. And Super Eyepatch Wolf was very kind enough last year to hang out with us and you know, play a game for the first time. He'd never played What Remains of Edith Finch, and he wanted to play that on stream, and we did that. So we've brought him back, and we've teamed him up with internet sensation, one of the smartest minds in my eyes around right now, H Bomber Guy. So it's going to be me, Lucy, H Bomber Guy, and Super Eyepatch Wolf. We're going to be playing Heave Ho, and we're going to try and have an intelligent discussion at the same time. Beyond that, we've got the Kind of Funny crew coming on. We'll have Greg, Snowbag Mike, Blessing, and we're going to be playing. What are we playing again?
Knockout City. We were playing Knockout City, which was a ton of fun. And we've also got Steve Swan from Able Gamers joining us as well. And John Robertson is going to be doing his incredible Dark Room with us next Tuesday, which is like an interactive choose your own adventure. It's wickedly twisted. He streams it quite frequently. He did a charity stream the other week, and I popped on and I had the best time, and it's like all interactive with Twitch. He does some really cool stuff there, so you won't want to miss it. We're going to be streaming twice daily, 10 a.m. PT until 12 p.m. PT is kind of like the morning slot, and then 2 p.m. PT till 4 p.m. the afternoon slot, except the Friday is just one big long stream with us and our friends at Giant Bomb. Very excited for that one, because obviously, like, I mean, Tam right there is repping the Giant Bomb right now, unintentionally, I assume.
Always. No, I did it on purpose. I was like, I'm gonna wear my Giant Bomb t-shirt today because I need the energy. But yeah, those are just a few of them. We've got way more people lined up. It's gonna be fun, and like I said, we're raising money. We've set our goal. As GameSpot does, we shoot for the moon. We've set a goal of $50,000. So please do share. The link is available right now. You can start donating.
I believe it's on screen.
It should be on screen. If
tinyurl.com/playforall2021.
Yep, there it is. You'd love to see it. tinyurl.com/playforall2021. Please, if you can, donate. You know, it's going in there. If you can't, share it around, let people know. I'm sure you know people who would be very, very much up for donating to a good cause. So share while you can. Let's try and get as close to 50K as we can, if not hit it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've put a lot of heart and soul and blood and sweat and tears into arranging not only E3, but sort of like a week of charity stuff. We're going to like blow off some steam, have fun with some faces that you may know and recognize, and also raise a bunch of money for charity. So that's our plan for the next week and a bit, because you thought E3 was over today. It's definitely not. Like I said, so the rest of this afternoon, we have the GameSpot Play for All Showcase. We have the E3 Awards. We're going to wrap up here very quickly, but later on today, we've got Kurt and Persia back to do the sort of end of day wrap. So before we go just now, what have been your biggest, like the most fun thing you saw today, Persia?
Warioware, oh my gosh, I played so much Warioware back in the day. They had the most random mini games. This was definitely around where I was like, mini games are life, and Warioware fit right in that pocket. And the fact that they announced it, I was like, what? And then I can play with friends, what? I was like, this is perfect. I love it. Was not expecting it. I like got hype in the group chat, and they were like, this is for business, you know, important stuff only, Persia. I'm like, I'm sorry, but like WarioWare. So that was definitely the most fun announcement for me.
All right, and now we're going to throw back over to the ESA stream. We'll be right here after all of the awards and stuff are done to wrap up E3. We'll see you then.